Welcome to Module 7. This little fly through gives you a bit of a guidance about where we're heading in this module. It's a bit of almost a culminating of some of the things we've talked about in terms of planning prior. So we're going to be looking at unit plans and unit outlines. So the first thing we're going to have a look at is what makes the characteristics of a great unit plan. And we're going to talk about the idea of constructive alignment. That it is a through line through a unit plan that is all aligned together. You know, a bit like your back. If it's not aligned properly, it's not going to work well. So we're going to align your unit. We're going to talk about the characteristics of that. The second one is that it's anchored in your enduring understanding for your whole unit. And sometimes your rationale might be an equivalent thing that is used in terminology. So what is your rationale? And your unit aligned, it's anchored, that's where we draw from, that's where our guidance, the headline guidance. So we'll talk about that. Otherwise, is it integrated, particularly with real world context, or is it cross-curricular with, say, STEM or STEAM? Is it integrated, particularly that we're concerned about, has it got a faith integration to go along that? So we're looking at those integrative themes that should be apparent in your unit outline. And so we go through those things that are there. And then we look at 3 models that are illustrative of this. The first one we're going to have a look at is QCAA. And also, for those that are outside Queensland, we're going to look at other models that perhaps are NESA and WA as illustrative examples. But the principles are the same. And have a look at their template, what features and guidelines are apparent in the QCA model, and how that is translated into the unit outline. And we'll go through some activities like that, looking at structure. The next is the 5E model, which you're not unfamiliar with already. The 5 E's, starting with engage and ending up with evaluation, and looking at those characteristics, how it works, some videos, some reflection questions, some examples of units that are there. Then we have a look at understanding by designs. We're going to make time, and we'll have a look at what they call the backward design model that is apparent in their way of conceptualizing and also structuring a unit. So we'll have a look at that, and that's not unfamiliar with you at all. And we're going to compare and contrast that with the CHC template and see what elements in the template are drawing upon some of those things. So now we're looking at the important part of assessment. What is the assessment along the way? What is the cumulative, summative assessment for unit outlines? That's a real critical aspect, and that also relates to your task that you have to do in your task 3, where you have to produce an integrative assessment task. So looking at what the aspects of assessment, some guidelines drawing from a few areas. Validity, accessibility, and reliability are themes that QCA emphasise, and similarly other jurisdictions emphasise, using similar or sometimes slightly different language. And what makes quality assessment essentially, and I'll get you to reflect upon those things. And that links here. The assessment modules talks about how does this relate to your task 3 that you're going to do. And I'll click back to unit outline to get the elaboration. And that's the unit in total pretty much. So in the review of the unit, we're going to be having a look at essentially what makes it a cohesive unit, what makes it integrated, and not only with content, but also its themes or cross-curricular and Christian integration, and how does assessment fit in succinctly into your unit. So that's the fly-through. That's what we're looking at this week.